let me introduce our guest. We have an artist, a singer, Aziza, with us. And today we're going to talk, to sing, and to trying to find some truth about colonization of Crimea.
Vitaly, you're going to sing.
Not me, not me.
Yeah, Aziza, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm a human. I'm Qirimli. I'm Crimean Tatar. I'm a musician. Music is my life. Music is my sense. But since we see this terrible war, I understood that first of all, really, it's Ukraine. And when we have free Ukraine and free motherland, when we can see justice, when we can see something important in our history, in our life, something truth from our parents, then we can be alive, and then we can create the music, be creator, singer, dancer. So I understood that first of all, I'm with Ukraine, I'm Qirimli, I'm Premier, and then I'm creator, then I'm like soul of the music, and music is my language, because in the past it was really hard for me to speak in normal way, and I really believe in the past that the best conversation for me, it's music, it's drawing, colors, dance, something that can show directly a message, but something that can touch directly your heart, touch your mind, touch your existence. But now I understand that it's important to be a person too. It's important to say directly messages to the world, because now we can understand that we can die. The world really is in such time when we need to choose right way, and when we need to be in time really to do everything correct. So that is why I want to say to the world, not only through the music, through the art, through the dance, that I like it so much, and I feel myself in this era very free, but I understand that I need to speak with people in different ways, in different languages, to explain my vision, to explain history, to explain truth about my people for the friends from all the world.
Were you born in Crimea or on free Ukrainian territory now?
I was born in Uzbekistan in deportation, unfortunately, because my parents came to Crimea in 1995. So I was a child, but of course I didn't remember Tashkent, Uzbekistan. So I remember my life, my childhood, always in Crimea, and Crimea was for me Ukraine, because we have Ukrainian government, Ukrainian school. But what I want to say, my parents, so we live in a small city, Kizilov in Yevpatoria, and in that time we didn't have a Qirimli school, and Crimean Tatar studied in the war school in the city. It was, everybody knows that the teachers in this school are very bad, very, but they could learn Qirimli language, Crimean Tatar language. But my parents wanted to give us, me and my sister, something very good, because it was also trauma for all Qirimli people that they didn't have opportunities, because our grandfathers, grandmothers, they deported in Uzbekistan, and they began from zero. My parents began from zero in Crimea. So they tried to see justice, and they wanted to give good education for all people. So I began to study at the gymnasium. It was Russian gymnasium, but I mean that in the city it was all Russian schools, but with Ukrainian, with some hours with Ukrainian language and Ukrainian history and Ukrainian literature.
For our listeners, It wasn't actually Russian schools. There was no Russia legally there, or actually there. But there were Ukrainian schools, but all the subjects were taught in Russian.
So it was Ukrainian school, but we are speaking in Russia, and we have Russian literature, Russian language, a lot of hours. This that in the past Ukraine was more in this under Russian influence, so the Russian agents and especially Crimea, but it was Ukrainian schools. But so we had only one Ukrainian school in the city. So I mean, with Ukrainian language, way of speaking.
As far as I remember, there was one in Simferopol, one in Yalta, and I guess it was one in Feodosia, in Cafe.
Like I remember, it was one gymnasium with deep education of German language. It was our gymnasium, and another school was a deep learning English language. It was Ukrainian school, but I never, checked this. I never was in this school, but I know that was also good school. Ukrainian, just everybody said about the school that it's Ukrainian school. I saw that it's because they are speaking maybe teachers are speaking in Ukrainian language, for example, mathematics or physics, but I'm not sure. But in general, say that this gymnasium was really a very interesting gymnasium with a lot of class with arts, something that create myself like artist, like actress, like musician, because it was very interesting gymnasium. But I think it was really big mistake of, we could not say the mistake is like history, but in this gymnasium we didn't have Qirimli language, and I lost this opportunity to know own language. But I know German and English and Russian, Ukrainian, but not my own language. But now I think that it's more important to know own language than in other languages. It's a first thing that you need to do. And because of this, I visited theater classes in my school, and I chose a way to be actress. And some people said to me that we have a good art academy, art university in Kharkiv. And when I was 16, I left Crimea, and I began to live in Kharkiv. And I wanted to be actress, and I wanted to be, and I studied exactly theater of animation or theater of puppet theater. And then I was an X Factor, Ukrainian X Factor, and I understood that I want to be a musician. But, it was also because from my childhood, I learned some Crimean Tatar songs. So I didn't know good Crimean Tatar language, but I like to sing Crimean Tatar songs, and it's very good. And I like to dance Crimean Tatar dance. I like this part of culture, and exactly this native singing from the childhood helped me to be a musician. I understood that I want to be somebody who creates the music, and exactly create, because I live in Kharkiv, and Kharkiv has some special atmosphere of rock music, of music that not only for the money, to be famous, but exactly to create something honest, to create something interesting. And I choose this way. So I choose a way of interesting underground music, maybe something like this. And especially I was always on this way because my father from my childhood showed me a lot of rock music, metal music, and we didn't like pop music, for example.
Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag is a flag of freedom. Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag м'яз у відповідь болю на ринку рабів. Ти час, ти той, хто створює волю. Ти час, ти той, хто створює волю. Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag is a flag of freedom. Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag is a flag of freedom. Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag is a flag of freedom. Flag of freedom. Ukraine, Freedom has a name, its name is Ukraine. Ukrainian flag is a flag of freedom. Flag of freedom.
Sometimes it feels when I talk to people that all of the things that they love have been put on hold while the invasion is occurring. But when I look at your art, I think that you've just changed your focus to fighting in a different way. Is that how you feel, or do you feel like everything is on hold as well for you? Like you can't fully express yourself?
No. Really, for example, if we can speak about art, before I really preferred to draw abstract drawing or drawing about my world, about my friends, not something political, not something, directly meaning, because I really like abstract art. But now I use art, especially art, for defending my nation, for defending truth, freedom. And I think that it's also make me a little bit more right in this time, because sometimes we can hide from the abstract visual world, from questions in our life. What I can say, it began especially from the full-scale war, because when I realized that my art before didn't stop this war, and art in general could not stop such barbarian people. And I understood maybe art of the war is the best art in this time, really art of the war. I read about this in the books, for example, but to read about this and to understand in practice, it's really different. It's different things. So I understood that now is the time of our warriors that really can change the world. And for me, they're real creators, real people who change something in this time. But that is why maybe half of the year I could not sing. I could not make music because I saw that, that art has no sense. Because art is like, joy for people. It's like illusion when you can hide from the reality. And it was like a little bit trauma. And maybe exactly because of my colonized history. Because during all my life, I speak in Russia. I created music in Russia. Yes, I created also music in Qirimli language, in Ukrainian language, but in general, it was Russian language. And I saw that through the Russian language, I could change people in Russia. Because from my history, we spoke in my family in Russia. And I thought, if I had such experience, maybe this language exactly is important for changes for these people in Russia. So I can be like partisan that can make some products, some songs that can change mind of the people. They could choose another way in own life and kick, dictator, change the life, begin to be free people. And of course, it was a big illusion. And why it was illusion? Because step by step, I understood that the problem of Russian Federation is not one person, is not their live in prison. It's about their vision of the world. This problem is deep inside of culture, and maybe sometimes for people from the another state, it's a little bit they could not understand this because they want to be tolerant for everything. But I can say it because I'm from Russian culture. I was great in Russian language. I know better Russian literature than Ukrainian, and of course than Qirimli literature, because I really lost my language. I lost my identity like Qirimli through the language. I really could say it because I was like, like good Russian in some way, that I want to defend this, free Russia, and I want to make, that our neighbor would be not barbarian, but somebody who's also want to be in Europe, want to be with free people together in good relationships. But all my friends past friends that I think that they are really for Ukraine and they are against Putin, they are not for Ukraine. And they have imperialistic mind in small details, in small vision of this world. And it was big shock for me. And I understood that this is direction that I want to change these people. It was absolutely wrong. Because only that they could do with my music, with my product, it only used me for making open Russian culture more successful, more visible for people. And also it's like instrument of so in this way I can Russophile in other people in Ukraine or in the world. So I was like instrument, but I saw that I could change these people, and that is why I could not sing. And I begin create art. It was NFT projects for supporting Ukrainian army. It was like states project. And then I began to create art about Ukrainian modern life, about some disgusting tragedy, about Russian lie, about Ukrainian history, about Ukrainian interesting persons in the history that changes, identity or try to defend Ukraine in the past. So I try to explain through the art my life. It is like diary about this time. I can check my art and understand and remember everything that I had in this time. So I really like it because I want to save this understanding of that came to me and came to my people, because it's really important information for all the world, because I understood that pacifism it's something from the illusion, especially at this time, because yes, for like artists, like dancer, I always dreamed about a world without border, a world without nationalities, or a world when we can be all together and when we can defend our planet from, we have a lot of problems. But I understood that it's like illusion, because when we live together with such barbarian people, when we live together with the slaves, we could not be friends with these people, because unfortunately only death can change these people. And I mean not like through the war, but with changes of generation. And of course when we will win this barbarian people and they could understand that they are loose, so their strategy is not right, and they have to change this instruments of relationships with another people, with another nations. So, and when I saw that I can change these people with songs, it was really very naive, because it's impossible. But through the time I understood that our barriers and our Ukraine is also it is impossible now because of artists and thinkers in the past. For example, Ukrainian and Qirimli that live in the Soviet Union, in Russian Empire, and try to save culture and try to say truth about history. And I saw that if artists are not so important, why dictatorship try to kill them? Why the bad people try to imprison these people? Why to be free and to be free for creation is so important. So I think that maybe a creator also is working for the future in some way, So the sense of this work you can see through the time. And of course, I want to help my people now. And when I could not help, it's make me sad. And I always, it's not like I'm choose this position and could not change, but every day I ask myself what I could do, and if really my work can help, if really my work is important, or I need to be just a part, for example, Ukrainian army, or do something physically to defend my people. Because I really understood that everybody in this world, we have not, such noble people or something. Work is more important or not important. Everybody is unique, important, and every work is so connected with us. So without, when we live first months in this full-scale war, I understood how important people who work with the food, who give me bread today. So I understood, of course, I understood it early, like conception. In theory, we understood this, but it's so important to understand it in practice. That is why I begin to be more direct person, and I'm not afraid to say something directly without art, for example, without music, because everything can be language and can be way for act. So still I thought about the important part of the life to explain for the people in the world about colonization. Because why Russian could do this? Because I think the world is still in this paradigm, is still lived in if, for example, Ukraine wasn't so successful in the beginning of full-scale war, maybe everybody would not do something, because Ukraine wasn't so visible to people, and it was like object, not subject of will. And in this time, I understand that everybody have to fight for own independence, absolutely natural way that we see now, because all states had this in own history. But I think I want to say something about Crimea, because we have still a lot of propaganda about Qirimli and about Crimea, and a lot of people thought that Crimea is a part of Russia or something like this, and everything is okay in Crimea. But I can be best example of this tragedy, because you can find a lot of such families that lost identity, language, and maybe for somebody it's like, okay, you lost the language, and what's wrong with this? But exactly this part of injustice make big war and can bring in your state war in the future. Because if we will not defend small nation, and if we will not return justice, we will see how terrible would be results of this. So I really believe that we need, for example, Ukraine has to defend the small nations like Qirimli, because in this way we can show the world how we can come back justice for the small nation, and in this way we have opportunity to see balance in the world, because of this, because we have no balance, we see these terrible events, terrible acts. And when also we close the eyes for some crimes, tragedy, because it's not near with us, it's not in our state, it's not with our nation. Exactly because of this, we have such time. And I wanted me in the future, I want to be always on the side of the truth, on the side of the right way, and try to defend another nation in same way, another, to be really a person of the world, It's first of all to find own roots, own ancestors, and then respect another nation and be open. Live not with closed eyes. Live with open eyes.
I listened and just telling things that are very obvious to most Ukrainians, and it's becoming obvious to many people throughout the world, but not enough, obviously. But I hope that it will be obvious for everyone that the first thing you have to do with your life is to find your truth identity, to find who you are and what are you, who are you, like the first and the first step, and then acting accordingly.
Canımda yırlar Gecede kahramanlarının adlarını fısıldayım hırım Yüreğimde kara acı azat ölüm istek hırım Ben seni sevem seni hırım Ben seni sevem seni Ben seni sevem seni Bağlalarından korgende eşitken dualarının arzuları Ebesi yazan fikirler kul buğavları Kurşunlar hay yıldızlarını imansızlıktan azat ettiler İmansızlıktan azat ettiler Benden yırlar sanki sefer gibi Benden yırlar sanki sefer gibi Hırım Ben seni sevem seni Hırım Ben seni sevem seni Ben seni sevem seni Ben seni sevem seni Bağlalarından korgende eşitken dualarının arzuları Ebesi yazar fikirler kul buğavları Kurşunlar hay yıldızlarını imansızlıktan azat ettiler